I'm Brandon Craig, the Vice President of Sales at Southern Plus. And the categories that you're seeing on your screen are the ones that we bring to market in the advertising specialties channel. It's not uncommon for a distributor to have had experience with one or more of our categories, if you will, and then think of us in that regard. So if they've done a bag order with us, it's not uncommon for you to think of us as a bag company. I want you to think of us in a broader sense. I want you to think of us as outdoor, recreational, and leisure. And that's important for a number of reasons. First, because of the universality of it. There's not a single customer that you'll ever call on that don't promote to people that don't do things outdoors, recreationally, or in their leisure. We all do. In fact, that's where our passion is. And if you put a logo on something that supports a person's passion, you've connected that brand at the heart level. And that's what every brand would love to do. They don't always know why to do it, and they don't always know how to do it. But hopefully you'll be able to position our products more favorably to accomplish that very task. An example of this would be many times you would steer your client or your client would steer you towards a work level promotion because that's normal and natural when you're trying to do a B2B connection. That's where two businesses would naturally collide. And if a company wants someone to think of them while they're working, something typically will end up promotionally on the desktop, in the car, or in the purse or briefcase, because those are the work zones. And I'll tell you that 85% of us view those as negative spaces, not because we dislike our job or we're not good at it, but if you put a logoed item in a negative zone, you'll actually be getting desensitized to that brand, not drawn to it. And contrary to that, if you think of what you really love to do, what you're passionate about, and then think if there's any promotional items that supports you in your endeavor, I will show you a brand that you'll never forget and will have a heart level connection with. And that's why our product categories are perfect for the promotional product space. We've been in business over 50 years. Very few suppliers can make that claim. In fact, less than two handfuls can in this entire industry. We've been doing it long enough. We're really good at what we do. We get measured in this industry by customer service awards, and we're A+ and 5-star rated. We always have been and always will be. We work very hard at that, and our partners seem to value that as much as we do. We have very low minimums. Most of our products are 36 to 50 piece minimum, depending upon the price point and the category. We also have very competitive pricing. Many people make the mistake of seeing our product and seeing the quality of it and thinking, well, that's very nice, upscale, retail, expensive. But I'll tell you, out of 260 total products, I have over 100 that are under $5. So we do have an outstanding value proposition for you and your client. We have very fast turnaround times. We publish 5 to 7 days, though we rarely take that long. It really just depends on what's going on in the facility at the time. But I do have 32 items that are on next day ship or that we can ship in 24 hours without a rush charge. And I'll show you, you can find those for the customer school and realize they've got to. I stand on our quality. I don't think you'll find better quality in our price points anywhere in the industry. I think we do color better than most people. We have a lot of colors in our line. We also have a lot of items in those colors, and that's helpful if you're doing program business, e-stores, and then lastly, we spent a great deal of time working with technology. And we won the best website in the industry for the second time, doing some things online that no one else in the world is doing today or is able to offer you. And that's really where I think it's going to be a game changer for you. So that's where I want to focus the rest of our time. But before I dive in, I want to first ask you, if you're like most distributors, your biggest challenge is your time. The detail work that goes into doing business in this industry is overwhelming for most people. I call it the administrative minutia, and it's like a vortex that will suck you in and literally move you from a sales rep to an admin so fast that your head will spin, and really you won't even notice that you're there. And it's very easy for you to get comfortable there and even get trapped there, and then you become a slave to your inbox. And the first thing that happens or that wanes or goes away entirely is proactivity. You become reactive, and you're unable to reach out and touch your customers as frequently or as often as you'd like. If that is you, I think you'll recognize this. I believe this is the norm in the industry. Inboxes are overflowing. We're running around like a chicken with our head cut off, or both any given day. But there is some ways that we can help you get through this in a very effective way. I know you can't work harder, but I promise you can work smarter, and Southern Plus can help you do just that. So let me jump on our website. If you haven't been there before, it's intentionally simple by design. We have a banner that's going to be moving and showing you something different. In fact, I would say if you sat here for 2 to 3 minutes, you'd probably be able to cycle through every one of those, and I would encourage you to do that at some point in time. But we know we have 5 to 8 seconds to show you something maybe you didn't know that we did, or something that might connect the dots between a project that you're working on with your customer and something that we're offering. Down here in the lower left-hand corner is all of our new products. Now, if you don't have much experience with Southern Plus or haven't promoted us much, everything's new, and that's a great thing. But over time, if you use our tools more, and I think you will have promoted us significantly over the next year or two. And you might say in some point in time, I've shown a lot of your products to a lot of my clients or my prospects, and I just want to focus on what's new. And that's a great way to isolate those items. Here's all of our items that we can ship in 24 hours or next day. And that's a great place to focus, again, when your customer hasn't gone to customer school. And then here is a product of the month, and I would encourage you every time you land on our site to check this area here, because we might just show you something that you can promote to your client, and whether you stretch margins or whether you save them some money, either way, there's some great opportunities for you to take advantage of here. But here's where the real meat and potatoes of our site are, the marketing tools, and that's where I'm going to camp out for the rest of the way. And I'm going to start by clicking on this second button here that says View or Send Catalog. Now, you may have experience shipping digital or sending digital catalogs to clients. One of the industry norms is a Zoom catalog. We do have a Zoom catalog here, which is basically a digital page flip version of our exact paper catalog. No difference. It just is delivered to them on screen versus in their mailbox. This is a Zoom custom catalog, and that's very similar to this. However, it gives you the opportunity to customize it by putting your logo on the front. It also gives you the ability, once you've tailored it and customized it, to make it look like your own. And it is a generic version of our catalogs. There's nothing that mentions Southern Plus throughout the catalog. You even can embed this on your website very easily. It'll provide automatically the embed code that you can drop and create this thumbnail and an area where you can click on your website to let customers view outdoor, recreational, or leisure products. So these two work very, very well. But this one is something that I think you haven't seen before. It's something very unique. We call it our interactive catalogo, and it's the first one of the 3. So if you click on the cover of that one, it's going to open up, again, a digital page flip catalog that looks very similar to not only our paper catalog, but looks very similar to a Zoom catalog. However, it does some things that the others do not. When you see 2 buttons at the top here above the catalog, you click on the first one that says Upload Logo. You can go grab any graphic formatted logo you can find on your hard drive. And it can be EPS and AI, JPEG, PDF even, if it's saved properly. Literally any graphic format you can find, and it'll work. And you click on Upload and Done. And in that amount of time, this logo that appears in this green box is now on every single item in this catalog. And now you can email it to your client or prospect. I want you to think about that. As I talked about this vortex that sucks us in and gets us so busy that we can't be proactive, this is one of the most valuable tools I can put in your hands. It's a wonderful way to be very proactive with your accounts, showing them an innovative tool that they've not seen before, and it takes a fraction of the time to do it. So in this case, if it takes you 30 seconds, at the most a minute, to send one of these to your client, and it's a custom interactive shopping tool, if you will, for promo items, I would tell you that it's an absolute perfect opportunity for you to do this on, say, a Monday morning when you come in and turn your computer on and you're sitting at your desk drinking a cup of coffee. You literally can send out 10 of these in 5 to 10 minutes tops. And I would encourage you, in fact, I'll challenge you to do just that. If you would send out 10 catalogs like this, for 10 per week for 4 straight weeks, I will personally guarantee that you'll never have more projects in your funnel in your career. and it will have taken you no time at all to do it. So let me show you what it looks like. Is the first time that you do this, you're going to think you did something wrong. You turn the page, and you don't see that logo as you would expect. And I'll tell you that originally I had that logo on these static pages. Found out a number of challenges with that. First and foremost, we can't upload a partial logo, which is what I would have to do for these instances like this. Also, if you were to send this catalog with static logos on these items, the first thing you would notice, or if your client noticed, let's say that they love the color red, that's their branded color, and they're looking for red items. If they get to this page, maybe they like this item. This becomes a source of frustration for them because they can't see their brand or their logo, but they can see another color. So that was sort of strike 2 for us. And strike 3 is when you send these to people, these are people that typically see their brand and their logo on items all the time. So it's really hard to wow them with just a static product page with logos on it. So what we did was actually remove the logo from the item and make it interactive. And I think that was what really was the game changer for us. So when you send one of these catalogs to a client or prospect, it's important that you tell them to click on an item that they find interesting, but don't tell them why. So as they're flipping through, they might see something. Maybe they like this particular item or they find it interesting, and you've told them to click on it. So they click on it, and they go, wait a minute, that's my logo. How'd that get on there? Now they're thinking, did I just do something by clicking on it? Or maybe I bought this from them. No, I didn't buy it from them because I do all the buying, and I don't remember ever seeing this bag before. That's why I clicked on it. I really like it. So they're going through this whole process of solving this mystery in their head, and now they're intrigued. They're not just seeing static product. Now they think they're doing something, and they want to figure out how it's happening. And they might say, okay, I clicked on this bag because I do like it, but that is not the color that I would like it in. And if they look up here at the top, they'll see a tab that says colors and styles. And if they click on that, every color that this item is available in is available for them to view. And if they click on the one that they're interested in seeing, it'll automatically update the image, and they're going to go, oh, wow, look, now that looks amazing. And that's within my branding guidelines. But, I think it would actually look even better if I could make that ink color of that logo match this trim color of the bag. Is that possible? And if they look up here, they'll see imprint technique. And if they click on that, every single item has a different palette of options depending upon the trim color of that particular product. So they can hover over each one of these squares, and it'll tell them what color it is until they find the one that they think is most suitable. And when they click on that, it's going to update the ink color, and they can say, that's it. I want this bag exactly the way it's shown. And if they click on Save Send, it'll create an email. And if you sent them this catalog, your email is already in the To field. It embeds this picture as you see it in the email body, and all they have to do is put who it's from. And they can say, this is the perfect bag for the project that we've been talking about. Give me a sample so I can touch and feel it and make a final decision. Or else they might say, this is it. I love this bag exactly as you see it. Consider this my proof. I need 300 of these by such and such a date. Here's my PO, and you're done. So it's a new way to interact with your client or prospect in a way that they've never done before. It's sort of like letting them behind the curtain of the Wizard of Oz. It's very exciting for them because it's truly fun. They're taking some of that work off of your desk, which is the virtual tool, and getting to do it themselves. Now, there's no way they can harm this logo. They can't maximize it or change the size or anything. All they can do is change colors, and only colors that we would actually recommend in the color mix of that particular product. Also, they can't manipulate or change it in a way that we can't produce it, so it keeps them out of trouble. It's a wonderful tool. Typically what happens when you send this to a client, they click on an item and they see their logo, they go click on a second one and they see it again, and typically by the third item that they click on, that's when they pick up the phone and call you and say, okay, how in the heck did you do this? This is absolutely amazing. I've never seen anything like this before. Or they might call you after you've sent it a couple of hours to them. They might have whiled away 2 hours kind of playing in this catalog, and those are the words that they use, is play, even though they are doing their job. And they're going to tell you when they get on the phone, I've been whiling away 2 hours in this catalog. It's absolutely amazing and a lot of fun. That also made me realize I've got an event coming up that we haven't talked about. I've got a Relay for Life event or something like that. So now you have a project on the board. So now it's a great way, again, to shake the trees and get low-hanging fruit to fall. That's really what it's designed to do. Your inclination, however, will be, now that you know you can send out these catalogs, is if the customer ever mentions to you, or you catch wind of them working on a project that maybe involves an umbrella, or maybe it involves a bag, or maybe it involves items that are for tailgating or for beach or resort, and it makes you think Southern Plus has items like that, let me send them a catalog. I'm going to tell you that's not the time to do it. This is ideal for sending to a customer when they're expecting absolutely nothing from you, or when you haven't heard from them in a while. And again, you're just shaking those trees trying to get some projects going, trying to fill your sales funnel. That's what this is ideally designed for. If they want something more specific, you don't want to give them a general response, which this catalog would be. If they ask for umbrellas and you send them a catalog full of all kinds of things, it gives them a little extra work to do, and it kind of dilutes that wow factor. So I would encourage you not to do this. If they want something specific, I will show you how to use our site to do exactly what they're requesting from you in a fraction of the time it takes you to source that anywhere else. Before I leave this page, I want to show you that the only other thing you need to do is click on the second button on this page that says Email Virtual Catalog, and it'll bring up a dialog box, basically, that you would typically say it's from me to you, whoever you're sending it to. Put a subject in there and put a message in there. But I'm going to tell you to do something different. Even though this will indeed send an email, a link of this particular catalog to whoever you tell it to, because we've upgraded our technology to the Amazon cloud, they have a strict third-party email policy that made us come up with a third-party generic email so that it would protect Amazon, protect us, and protect you from ever accusing Amazon of skimming emails for their own marketing purposes. So what I'm going to recommend that you do, and it's a little bit of a workaround, is say it's from me to me. So you're basically going to send it to your own email and ignore these other two fields, and then hit send, and done. Send it to yourself, and then craft the message that goes along with it in your own email and forward it to your customer or prospect. That way they'll know it's coming from you. You'll have better ways of tracking that. And again, I would encourage you to take my challenge of 10 catalogs per week for 4 straight weeks and watch what happens. It will produce some amazing results for you. This message is very critical, maybe one of the more important things that I'm going to share with you. And I can provide you this language if need be, so you can literally just copy and paste it. But my recommendation is to say something like, we found a promotional catalog full of fun and exciting things, and I immediately thought of you. It's kind of a neat offhanded compliment that you could say to somebody that you know well, or you've been doing business with for years. The second sentence, you want to say, click on this link and it's going to open a digital catalog. You want them to know exactly what's going to happen. You want to demystify what that link is going to, where that link is going to take them, because some people get a little freaked out by that. And then lastly, I want you to say, click on any item you find interesting, and I'd put in parentheses right there, and you're going to find a lot of them. Now you're almost taunting them. You're almost daring them not to look. And then finish that sentence with, for an added surprise, or to see the magic happen. If you use language like that, I will guarantee you these people will stop what they're doing. They're going to go check it out. Once they've clicked on an item in this catalog, they're like a fish on a hook, and now you're just reeling them in. It's a very effective tool, and if you use it the way I say, I will tell you you're going to be amazed by the results. All right, so if your client says something specific, and you're going to go to our homepage and create a storyboard or presentation of some kind using a subset of our product mix, the first thing you want to do when you get to our homepage is click on Add Logo to Everything. When you click on that button, you can browse, again, for any graphic formatted logo you can find. And for continuity's sake, I'll go ahead and grab the same one I just used. Click on Open, Upload, and then Close. Now you've uploaded not to a catalog, but you've uploaded that logo to every item on our website. And now as you start to look for ideas, and whether you look using our menu system here at the top, like for specific products, or what I would recommend is come here to this search engine, which is right underneath our menu. It's very powerful. You could search by category if that's what they gave you. Maybe they said umbrellas. You could say category umbrellas. Or maybe they've given you little to no guideline and you know their branded color. Maybe they gave you just a budget to work with. So you can click on price and search just for price ranges, maybe everything under $5, for instance. You can also come here to key features. Maybe they say, I'm looking for a zippered bag. If you click on key feature, bags, zippers, everything with a zipper comes to the screen. So there's a lot of really neat ways to search here, and I would encourage you to try multiples. But for the sake of a demonstration, I'll start with color. If I uploaded Dasani's logo, which I did, to my website, and I was looking for ideas for them, and I knew their branded color was a royal, that's not a bad place to start. So I click on color, and then in the next field, I select the color which I want, which is royal, and then I click on the magnifying glass or the search. And in a matter of seconds, everything that Southern Plus makes in royal blue is now on the screen already in virtual. In this case, that's 13 pages worth for about 150 products. Now, I don't know if you've ever sent 150 virtuals to an account, but I'm going to guess the answer to that would be no, because it would take you a week to do it in some traditional way. But if it took you a couple of seconds, my next question is, why wouldn't you? When you're out there competing with other distributors that can do the same thing that you can within reason, and you're trying to build loyalty with your client, doing the unexpected pays big dividends. And I believe that this is something that would be completely unexpected. In fact, they're going to say, oh my God, nobody has ever sent me 150 virtual samples before. And I will tell you that if you do that, and I would recommend you doing this at least one time, actually I'll say exactly one time for every client or prospect that you deal with. And no more than one time, because the second time would be a little bit off-putting. As impressive as it would be, they'll say, I don't have time to go through 150, as impressive as it is. And they'd want you to whittle that down to a manageable few so they can make a final decision. But that first time, it's going to create even a guilt factor with them. They're going to say, oh my God, you must have spent a week on this. If I don't place an order with you, you're going to kill me. It really does work. So I would encourage you to do it one time with each client. Here, when you want to send all 150, which you see on the screen here, you can come and click on email, or you can click on create flyer. They both do the same thing. Email's a little more automatic and happens in the background. You just fill out this form and you tell it what you want to include with your presentation, and then you hit send. And you'll probably use that one more times than not. But I think if you're sending 150, it's probably a good idea to use the create flyer option, which is the same thing, but instead of filling out the form, it just says, tell me what you want to include in it, and it's going to bring it to the screen so you can review it one last time. With 150, it's a good idea to do that. And then you actually right-click and save it manually as a PDF, and it'll do that format automatically. And then you attach it yourself to an email to your client. So it's a little bit more manual, but it's a little bit safer to review one last time before you send it. So you would go through and say, I want to include pricing. If you do, you don't have to check the box next to price codes. You can say, I want to put an item number on there if you do. And I would recommend always, if you're going to send this many items, give them something to reference. There's nothing worse than them calling you a week or two later and referencing page 6, the third item from the top and all this stuff. It's better to just give them an item number to reference. I would also encourage you, if you're going to send this many, to include a hyperlink. That way they can answer their own questions on these 150 products without bothering you. They can click on any item that they find interesting. And it'll answer whatever they want to know, whether they want to see what other colors it comes in, what's the dimensions of the product, what's the imprint, all the specifications, up to and including what would it cost to ship 400 of them to their zip code. So lots and lots of questions could be answered automatically for them by them clicking on the item and the image. And then the last thing, or next to last thing you want to do, is include your company information. And once you've filled this out on your screen one time, because it'll be blank the first time you click on it, and then you click on save, and every time you put a check next to this box to include your company information, it'll put that information directly into the header of your presentation. And then you can also include a message, and I would encourage you to use these as often as possible. And that message could be anything from click on an item that you find interesting and it'll give you more details about it, or it'll answer the questions for you that you may have. Or you can give them a call to action that says, if you order something from these pages or this page in the next 30 days, I'll give you 10% off, or I'll give you next call on pricing or something like that. So that could help you give them a call to action that's irresistible. So you can just check that and fill that information out. I'm going to leave it blank for the moment, and then I'm going to click on go. And when I click on go, it's going to create a file that looks like this. Again, it's a very, very robust presentation of items, and in fact, I'll do it to a full screen mode so you can see it. It's 13 pages worth of product. You'll notice we make imprint decisions color-wise and so forth. And I will just caution you that we make decisions based on the trim color of the product, not on branding guidelines. And that's another reason why you should bring it to your screen first and review it, because we may get it wrong pertaining to your client brand. But it might look perfectly great in all other senses. So I would encourage you to, again, to send one of these out to everybody you know. And the next time that you would want to do something along these lines, if you've already sent them one, you would come and say, okay, I'm going to uncheck them all. And instead of sending them so many items, I'm going to just pick and choose a few that I want to promote. And that's this one, let's say, and this one. So it's really easy to go through and check the ones that you want to include. But with 150 that to begin with, I would recommend leaving them all checked and then coming here to this button on the far right, which is Refine Search. And in this particular project, maybe they told you coolers, so you could click on category coolers, and they're a water company, so that certainly would make sense. And they might give you a budget of, say, $10 to $20. So just by clicking on these two criteria and saying search under the Refine Search area, I get 5 that are exactly what they need to see. And now you could send them what your recommendations are. I do see one issue. This particular item has a black imprint. And while that's not a problem for me, and it probably wouldn't be a problem for you, it would be a problem for Dasani. Their branding guidelines say, don't ever show me black on blue. That's not my brand. Even though it makes sense that it would be black on this particular item because of the trim color, you would not want to show it to Dasani that way. So instead of omitting it by unchecking it or redoing it in some form or fashion, all you have to do on our site is to go right below that thumbnail, and where it says imprint, you can pull it down and select an option that is in their branding guidelines. In this case, we'll change it to white, and now you're done. Now, if I asked any one of you to, from your desk, to create a presentation with 4 to 6 coolers, make them royal blue. They've got to be between $10 and $20, and they've got to have Dasani's branded properly on each and every item. Realistically, how much time would that take you before you could send that to your client? How much before you could actually have it leave your, or arrive at their inbox or leave your outbox? And I will tell you that the industry norm for a project like this is 2 hours. Some people might say as long as a half day. If that's you, don't be discouraged. You may not be quite as graphically savvy as others, but the reality is it takes a great deal of time. And then your next question is how many of these are you doing? And most distributors are saying, this is kind of what I do all day long. My inbox is full of them. My customers give me some ideas of what they're looking for. I go and source the product. I put together presentations, and then I throw it against the wall to see what sticks. And if you're just managing this, if you just become a slave to that inbox and you're just managing these presentations, because maybe if they take you a couple of hours, then you only have time to do about 4 a day. If you do them on our site, I will tell you that it'll take you less than 1 minute. So if you do the math, if you did 4 of these using Southern Plus products that you would normally use other tools for, you will have gotten an entire day back that week in time. That's 8 solid hours that we will have saved you over the course of that week, or even the course of that day. And that's when things get really interesting. That's when your time savings and working smarter gets very significant. Now, there is another way that you can search on our site, which you might use as often. I started originally on this search bar, but many times your client might say, I'm looking for ideas for, and then fill in the blank. Maybe they say they're doing a sales meeting in a resort destination. Give me ideas for that. Or I'm doing a charity golf event or whatever. If there are items that you think an outdoor recreational or leisure product would satisfy, you would just come to our homepage, click on Add Logo to Everything, which we already did. You upload the client's logo, and then you come to Ideas by Use or Theme. And when you click on that button, every way you can use an outdoor recreational or leisure product is already set up in these convenient little categories. So you can scroll through these and get familiar with them. But if they said beach resort, you just click on something like that. If they said I'm doing a charity golf event, you just click on golf. So when you click on golf, it'll bring up all of our golf items, and in this case in random color, and that might be exactly how you want to present them or how they want to see them. Or you could say, you know what, I happen to know that this tournament is for men only, and it's not for breast cancer awareness. So maybe a pink towel or a pink product is not a good idea. So you could come underneath that thumbnail where it says color, and you could choose another color that we offer that in that's more suitable. Or you could do what I would do, and you could come up here while you're in this golf area. You could click on Refine Search, and you could say, let's change every color to royal. So everything for golf in royal blue, and then you hit search, and voila, you have everything for royal blue in for golf. You could tweak a couple of logos as they're needed to match their branding guidelines, and you're done. And then you'd got that one too. Okay, then you would come up here to create flyer. And when you're creating a flyer inside this theme area, or ideas by use or theme, you get an extra option that you can check that says flyer header. And when you check flyer header, it's going to include this pretty little picture that you see above the thumbnails as part of your presentation. So your finished product would look like this. And in my opinion, in this industry, the difference is in the details, and that's a simple detail that all you did was check a box, but your client will think you spent a great deal of time and effort making it look pretty for them. So that's doing ideas by use or theme. And then there's one other way that you might use our website for doing virtuals, if you will, and that is for a single product. Maybe you use Sage or ESP, and maybe you're going to do headwear for them and drinkware and a writing instrument, and then maybe they also want to see maybe a lunch cooler or something. Let's just say that this is a lunch cooler that you wanted to promote to them along with some other items that you would source in ESP or Sage. You could literally come to our site, jump on the exact item that you want to present. You could go grab any color that you want to present to them, and when you click on the color, it'll update the image to that color. And all of our images are live JPEG, so you can copy and paste them. You can drag and drop them into another, like a PowerPoint or an email body. It doesn't matter. This one seems to be taking a little while. It's normally instant. Doesn't like that particular color. Let's click on this one for the moment. Just say we wanted to present this particular item. If it's within their branding guidelines, you don't have to change the imprint, though you have the ability to do so right below it. So if you want to leave it exactly as that, you could certainly, as I said, copy and paste it, drag and drop it. But I would recommend coming here and clicking on Sell Sheet. When you click on Sell Sheet, you can decide what do you want to include. If you want to include pricing, item number, you can put your company info, which you already saved, and you can also put your logo on it. I did upload a logo, but if you did, once you've done it one time, it'll be there, your logo forever. Then you could also add a message if it's important, and then you decide, do I normally use ESP or do I normally use Sage? And it doesn't matter which one you use, just check the one that you use, and it'll make in this case, I'll leave it as ESP, and click on Go, and it's going to create a one-page sell sheet that should look identical to all the other sales flyers that you're creating within ESP, and now you can attach it. Now, you can certainly do our products in ESP and Sage. They're all adequately, more than adequately loaded in there, and you're able to do presentations within there on our products as well as any other. But more and more people are saying, I can do it much quicker doing yours on your site and doing the others on the other site. Now that we've matched this format for you, you can easily attach ours along with the others, and they'll all look the same. So whether you're sending a single item, which I'm showing you here, whether you're sending multiple items like the 4 to 6 coolers that I showed you, or whether you're sending 150 of everything in royal blue, for instance, or if you're sending our entire catalog, every single thing I just showed you will take you less than 1 minute on the Southern Plus site. So it really comes down to what is your time worth, and where might you be squandering it where you don't really need to be. So while you cannot work any harder in this industry, I assure you, you can work smarter, and hopefully I just proved that to you. My favorite saying is, you can give a man a fish and feed him for a day. You can teach a man to fish and feed him for a lifetime. Hopefully I just taught you how to fish in a way that you didn't know you could, and I think it will feed you literally for a lifetime. Just know that I've shared a lot of information with you, and you're certainly able to hear this on a recording. But when you get to our site, instead of hearing the recording over again, you can actually come here to information, how-to instructions, and everything I just showed you, step by step, screen by screen, is available for you to click, and it's a tutorial. It'll take you through it. And there is one additional promotional way you can feature our products with your client, and that's using our customized flyer section. Every themed or seasonal flyer that we have active on our site is available for you to click on and upload your information and forward them to your clients to stimulate some additional business. So I encourage you to check out our flyer section as well. I greatly appreciate your time and attention, and more importantly, I appreciate your support of Southern Plus. If you need to reach me, my name again is Brannon Craig, and you can reach me at my email, Brannon, BRANNON, @southernplus.com. Thank you.